Hey folks, Friday the Firearm here. Recently purchased an inexpensive Arminius HW5 revolver. Now this particular revolver is chambered in .32 Smith & Wesson long. I was able to pick this up at a pawn shop for a heck of a steal. So if you come to the table with me, I'll show you a little bit closer look at this gun and we'll see a little bit of shooting video. Well, now that we're at the table, let's first safety check the gun. All 7 cylinders, or 7 chambers of the cylinder are clear. Now, like I said, when you saw me standing, this is an Arminius HW5 that I was able to buy at my local pawn shop for very cheap. And this Arminius is chambered in caliber .32 Smith & Wesson long. 32 Smith & Wesson long, kind of an obscure caliber, not too many makers of that stuff still around. I don't even think you can find hollow points for it. It'd be nice to find hollow points for this gun. But let's do a size comparison of this German gun to an even older, even cooler, more iconic German pistol. And that would be my P08 Luger. And you can see the Arminius is just ever so slightly smaller than the Luger. Not much, but a little bit. But very expensive gun, not so much. And while I'm on that topic of price, you'd be surprised on how little I actually paid for this gun. I purchased this gun for $43.35 after taxes, and I'll show you the sales receipt to prove it. You can see here it says revolver Arminius HW5 $39.95 $43.35. So that's the sales receipt for the gun. So I think I got a heck of a steal from it. And the reason I bought the gun is I figured if I couldn't get the gun fixed, I would make this into a really cool bookend. And I limited myself to spending no more than $50 total on the gun. That's including the gun and to fix it. And the reason the gun was so cheap is, 1, the caliber is an odd caliber, and 2, the barrel was really, really wobbly. Like you could twist the barrel left and right, not significant amount, but you could tell it was loose. So after I got the entire gun completely disassembled, which was fairly easy, just a bunch of pins, all you do to get the barrel off is you just push that pin from this side to the other side, unscrew the barrel. After cleaning the threads, I put a very generous amount of the red Loctite thread lock, and it has to be the red stuff. And you can get that stuff at your local hardware store, auto parts store, heck, Walmart. And if you want to source out the ultra high temp stuff, the stuff that can go to like 500, 600, 800 degrees, you can do that. But the regular red thread lock will go up to 300 degrees, which is more than adequate for the purposes I needed it to do. I'm not going to be taking this gun out and just shooting the ever-living crap out of it. 1, the ammo's not inexpensive, and 2, the ammo's kind of difficult to find. But after I cleaned this gun up, I was then kind of worried. It's like, will it actually fire? Will the gun explode? Are the important parts safe? And I'd had, after inspection, I say, yeah, the hammer is actually good steel. The trigger is good steel. The cylinder is good steel, and the barrel is steel. Good steel. So, other than the frame and some of the frame components, hammer, trigger, cylinder, barrel, all the important parts, mainly especially the cylinder from keeping the gun exploding, are steel. And with a .32 Smith & Wesson long, that's not a very potent cartridge. It's not the most powerful cartridge in the world. So this is adequate. This is more than adequate for the cartridge. But even after I figured I was able to get the gun cleaned up, I decided I'm not going to be carrying this gun as a daily carry. That'd be stupid. If anything, it's going to be a safe queen, just sitting there for funs and giggles, because how often can you buy an old, cool, working revolver like this that's not, a total pile of crap like a Saturday Night Special or whatever, for less than $50? Like, you really can't. So this is just kind of one of those odd, cool finds that I was able to find at a gun store. A pawn shop that, happened to sell guns. And I'm probably going to end up making this gun my tackle box gun for when I go fishing. Just throw in the tackle box. If the gun gets wet or rusty, who cares? I paid less than $50, that's with the fix, to get this gun, to purchase a gun and get it running. So I really don't care that if it gets a little rust. It's not that important to me. But folks, this is a really, really cool gun. I do have some shooting video, and let me roll that shooting video and we'll come back with a little bit of history on the gun and the company. Well, now that we're back from the shooting portion, you can see the gun shoots quite alright. It has very, very little recoil, easy to handle, easy to manipulate. Sight picture's not terrible. It's one of the better sight pictures out there, really. I was not able to be that terribly accurate with it. I think the barrel may have a few issues, as far as, how tight it, was made. Not 100% sure, but again, this is a tackle box gun, so this is really meant to kill turtles at a short distance, or whatever, at a very short distance. It's not meant to reach out 7, 10, 15, 20 yards. It's not meant to do that. It's not why I'd put it in a toolbox or tackle box. But a little bit of history on the gun. That again, this is made by the Arminius Corporation, or Arminius Co., or Arminius, I don't know what it was, post World War II. They were originally located in East Germany, but once it came under Russian control, they moved to West Germany and continued producing, small arms and sporting arms, and that's when they began producing these. There's several models of this. This is the HW5 and 32 Smith & Wesson long. There's also HW3 and an HW7, and one of them's in 357 Magnum, I believe. So that's a pretty stout cartridge for something like this. But really cool guns, and like I said, this one was made in 1968. You can see that little 6.8 there. And this was made right before they were no longer allowed to import, inexpensive firearms into the United States. I guess the government doesn't like it when people can purchase inexpensive firearms. That I guess they want it where only the rich people, the one percenters can afford firearms all the time, So we've seen legislation all throughout history on firearms. They just don't want your common man or, people who are less fortunate to be able to afford a firearm. And that's what this was meant to, fill that gap for people who were not rich, people who, wanted either, a household firearm or some sort of, inexpensive protection. They could get this. That was better than, Saturday night, special ring of fire that might explode. But again, the government doesn't like common people owning guns. But folks, this is a really cool gun. It's a hell of a find, that I was able to get this gun for that cheap, and it still works. And in the future, if something breaks on the gun, because I'll never be able to replace a part on this thing, but if a part does break on the gun, I'm just going to make it a bookend. Who cares? So folks, this is Fatty with a Firearm. If you liked the video, please like, share, and subscribe. And stay tuned for more videos to come. Thanks for watching.